reset this thing where it rings until you read the message? 65 miles on the border route trail in the Boundary Waters canoe area starts now. Good morning, friends. Welcome back to the channel. I find myself with a bunch of hooligans in the Boundary Waters in northern Minnesota. We are on the border route trail, 65 miles westbound. And this trail borders the Canadian-Minnesota border. But if you like these kinds of trips, backpacking, outdoor stuff, feel free to subscribe right down there so you don't miss any of the videos that drop. I'm glad you came along. My name is Rob Pelton. Giddy up! I was asked to come on this trip, a nice early fall trip. Turned out to snow and be freezing. That's called adventure, my friends. Beautiful. Watching the evening. One cool part about the BRT and in the Boundary Waters, especially on the western terminus here, is you come right up to a geological feature. An oddity, really, is this big spire right here. It's called magnetic rock.
It's called a magnetic rock.
It's magnetic. It's only about a 2-mile hike in from the trailhead, so you could come do this. Bring the family, bring some compasses and watch them go wild. It's also a stop to de-layer because it is definitely warming up, but it's still low 30s in temp. Did I mention that day one, which is today, is an 18-mile day? Whose decision was that? Jeremy. We've been cooking along at a pretty good pace, but when you come to areas like this, you just got to stop for a second.
No, you don't. Keep going, Rob.
It'd be like a really beautiful and touching moment if these guys weren't here.
Come on, let's go.
I'm clipping along pretty good. I do have my trekking poles, but I'm going to choose not to use them for now. But with a big day ahead of us, there's a sense of urgency, I feel anyways, because we're flying. And I think that's kind of okay in the Boundary Waters, because Boundary Waters trails, there's a lot of canopy, obviously there's a lot of colors, but there's very, very few grand overlooks. The Superior Hiking Trail has spectacular overlooks, especially inland with all the colors. You know, if you look out east, Lake Superior's in the distance. But Boundary Waters, a lot more secluded, a lot more rugged. Trails are not maintained very much, very minimal. So this is a trail, provided you pay attention to your feet, that you can just push, because it all kind of looks like this, with a couple of exceptions. All right, came across another road, and I guess this bridge is out, but I gotta go this way. I was looking a little lost. There was a guy sitting in his truck, and he just pointed, go that way. So yeah, there's some major stuff going on. But this is Gunflint Lake, I think.
That was seen from the dinner table this morning. Some nice places. Yeah.
9 miles in, and it's 12 o'clock. I slowed down. I Came out of the gate pretty fast. So I'm gonna back it off. Make sure I hydrate. But it's cold. And there's a really good breeze, which is cold. Overgrown much? Got just over 3 miles left.
Yeah.
That's Gunflint Lake. We've been following it the whole time.
Still.
But it's finally coming to an end, so we get to leave Gunflint and head to camp. It's been a tough 15 miles for me so far. Here's the portage that goes from Topper Lake to South Lake, right behind me. This, what I'm on, is basically what people with canoes and canoeing equipment and gear, they paddle up to the shore, pack up everything, including the canoe, on their shoulders, and they walk it, everything, to the next body of water. The Boundary Waters is an absolute paradise. And the best season to come here is right around now, because the bugs are gone. A lot of people are gone. But it is too cold to swim. Camp is right over there. Day 2. It's just after 7 o'clock. 14 miles to Clearwater Lake. This section is shorter than yesterday, but it's difficult. I slept real well. Had a really good morning constitutional. I did not eat breakfast yet. I figure I get a couple miles in, stop and make some oatmeal. This is what I'm looking at.
Welcome to the Border Route Trail, home of a lot of down trees.
The man just motors. Now Keef, he's fast too. Keef has got his loadout dialed in. He's light, he's fast. You know, Keef has got those like long, lanky legs as well. So Keef, he can mosey down the trail, right up there with almost. So that once again puts me at the worst of the best. Yeah, it's much warmer today. I mean, there's not frost on the ground and it didn't snow last night. My thermometer blinked out on me last night, so I have no idea how cold it got, but I do feel like it got warmer. So I think last night maybe 40 degrees. It was nice, and I slept really well. Today I'm just going to pace myself. I have Miyagi in front of me. He left really early, like well before sunrise. Keef is in front of me. We got almost on my tail here, and Chuck hasn't even woken up yet. So that's our group. About 6 miles in. I've been hiking for about 3 hours, so I'm averaging 2 miles an hour, which is pretty good. And it's windy. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is super windy. But I want to show you the most epic view yet. I didn't realize it was so windy. I mean, it's 30 miles an hour. You just don't see that when you're, you know, in the woods, especially down low. But I'm up top now, walking along this ridge. It's a clear sky. The sun's poking out. That feels really good because it's still 45 degrees out. $12:30. 6 miles left. I've slowed down a little bit, but it's a lovely day. Absolutely lovely. Just had to refill some water. A little pro tip: make sure that your filter is pre-wetted before you start your trip. So just soak it, you know, the night before, and your filter should be good to go. So the Boundary Waters is surprising me. I mean, there's some hella nice views out here. We see a couple people down on the lake in canoes. There's a big portage right down here as well. Look what I found. Mule caught up to me. Four o'clock. Maybe it's 3 o'clock. My watch says 3. My phone says 4. I think because Canada is right there. It's a different time zone, which is strange. But I got a message on my Garmin, on my inReach here, from Almost. I guess there's a couple of very, very large beaver ponds up ahead. So I'm gonna have to navigate around that. But these Garmins, I'm telling you, they're worth having for situations especially like this where we're not all hiking in a group. So I can give them updates where I am. They can give me updates of what's coming up, you know, these kinds of things. And if I was struggling or in trouble, I could just message them and they could probably render aid. Or worst case scenario, if something disastrous happened, these devices have SOS, so I can push a button and search and rescue comes out to sort me out. So let's just hope I'm never in a position to need to push that button. And that's what a beaver dam looks like. So with that dam over there, I got a bushwhack around it, and it is thick in here. Because beavers, they dam these up to create, you know, these ponds so they have habitat. That's why they do this. And then I get to figure my way around it somehow. That was one. Beautiful pond. All right, beaver pond number 2. Shit. Just made it to the turnoff to Clearwater campsite. It's about a third of a mile spur trail. I'm sure the boys have been down there for a little while. Hopefully they got a fire going. Today was a tough day. Physically and kind of emotionally too, for me. But 32 miles on the BRT is done. But I will say, in the first half of the trail that I've done, there are no easy miles to be had on the Border Out Trail. Not at all. Good morning. Whoa. Day 3. 7:15. And it's a third of a mile climb right out of camp. That'll get you warmed up. I don't have temperatures for you because my thermometer ran out of battery. I gotta replace that when I get home. But I would imagine it's 35, 36 maybe. That's Fahrenheit, by the way. But today's another 14 miles to Pine Lake Camp or something like that. Something with a pine in it. Miyagi's gone. Jeremy's gone. Keef and Mule are right behind me. Some pretty good climbing right away in the morning. But I've said it before, challenging climbs are usually rewarded. Let me show you. "100% magic." Let's go see what the professionals are doing.
I'm a professional.
No. Ooh, buddy. Through this section, you can see there's uprooted trees and a lot of trees that have been cut in half due to, maintenance effort. But this whole area, about a year ago, actually, a huge tornado came through and just ripped this whole mountainside up. I mean, it was impassable. So a big crew, and thanks to you for doing that, came through and just started clearing it, for the hikers. So I couldn't imagine trying to get through here without this clearing effort, because it's crazy. More hills. This section is pretty nice though. Fairly flat with a couple of inclines. Just came up another one. And then it stays true. When you climb, you get this The boys got the fire going already, which is really nice. There's supposed to be a spectacular sunset, but I don't have it in me to go down there. 46 miles done.
Not to brag or anything, but my bag's the smallest. Need some help over there?
No, they're much lighter today.
Now that's a bear hang. Good morning. It is 7:30. Got down to 31 degrees last night. And I think it rained a little bit. I heard some drops, felt some water on my face. I got up and threw my tarp up because I've been sleeping with no tarp the last few nights. And it turned out that was a good call because it did rain just a little. So, in an effort to keep all my stuff dry. I have a little bit of an update. So yesterday, I popped something in my right knee, like underneath the kneecap. So walking on flat ground is fine. Walking uphill inclines is fine. Walking downhill declines hurts a lot. Like right now, I'm walking down to the lake and it hurts. Today's supposed to be about a 13-mile day, but at 7 miles, there's a campground where it's got access where you can drive to it. So my goal is to get to that campground and see how I feel. Because if it's like this, it's gonna take me 13 hours to walk today. Can't have that. Anyways, I want you to see one of the reasons why I torture myself. Because this is spectacular. That's why. And you can't see this without being out here. As I'm walking this morning, it seems like it's raining, kind of like it was last night. But it turns out we're just in a very, very dense fog. Basically, in a cloud. So all that condensation building up on the leaves and falling, which is what it's still doing now. So yeah, pretty much like rain, but not rain, but enough to get things wet. And what you don't want is a wet top quilt or a wet underquilt. Those are the things that keep you warm and dry at night. And I would say that's the second most important thing behind water. Water is number one. So you want to make sure you have enough water, but then you want to be sure to keep the water out. That's weird. Well, about a mile from McFarland Campground. It's a state campground. And I ran into some guys. They're staying there. They stayed there last night. They plan on staying there tonight. They were walking the other way just as a day hike. So I won't be alone, I guess. But it's a primitive campsite. There's no amenities or anything. You filter water, from the lake, that kind of thing. But I will say this section, I'm on 6 miles or so. Whoa. There's no views, no overlooks. Pretty much all just green tunnel. I mean, beautiful. You can smell that fall detritus smell. It's something that I can't describe, but it's almost like a sweet. But I love that smell. But I'm limping along, probably doing 1.5 miles an hour, give or take. So definitely not hauling, but still moving. It appears I may have spoken a little too soon because I see something pretty cool. Looks like we're coming out of the woods to a road. And from here, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. There's legit like a sign right there that says, go that way. I think that's it. So this is Little John Lake. It crosses underneath a bridge and empties out into McFarland Lake. But the water looks fairly clear, which is nice. So I get to filter. I just sent a message to Jeremy asking what their plan is. I mean, if they're feeling good, they might push all the way. I'm not sure. I'm kind of bummed. I have not had good luck with trips this year. I mean, canceling, bailing, it just hasn't been good. It's kind of messing with me a little bit, but I'm still out here. I'm still doing it. But now I got to nurse my body a little bit. So a little tour around camp. It's a nice campsite. It's got the fire ring. They even have a kind of a bear line hung. So I did a little bit of laundry and washed some underwear. Got my own little clothesline back there as well. But plenty of space for my Ridge Runner underneath there. Let's take a look at that thing. I love this hammock. For sheer comfort, this is the way to go. Yeah. And then met some camp mates. I actually saw them on the trail earlier, and they invited me over to hang out by their fire and just chill. So I'm gonna go over there and cook dinner and hang out, and I'm gonna come back and crash for about 10 hours. Yeah. So it's been a trying day. I appreciate you coming along, guys. You know, it means the world to me that you actually watch my videos. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I release all kinds of crazy videos. A lot of it outdoor stuff, obviously. But appreciate you stopping by. Be sure to get on trail yourself. We'll see you on the next one. What's happening? It's happening.